to the idea of where we explore the noise, the nuance, and everything in between. I am Mike.
And I'm not feeling well.
Oh, poor Bossy. And this is a space where culture, creativity, and conversation collide.
Yes, sir.
Yes. How's it? Oh, Bossy. I'm just looking at myself on the screen. Listen, here's this 48-year-old observation. Prior to New Orleans, right, for my trip, I like 30 days before, I was eating well. I was intermittent fasting. I was juicing. I was like in my workout bag because I had these 3 suits that I had to fit in, right? And I was like, I gotta fit it. Went through New Orleans. It was perfect. I come back. I don't like going a binge diet. It's not like I went to McDonald's 8 days in a row. I was just eating normal. And now I'm looking at my face and I gained so much weight since it's crazy. Like, why am I fat right now? Like, I'm looking at myself
It's
like, what the? I didn't even do anything. I didn't even like, I didn't, I'm still working out every day, every other day. But instead of having a salad for dinner, I might have a spoonful of rice and I've gained 10 pounds. I could look at my face and tell
I
I gained the 8 pounds that I lost in the last 4 days.
I don't understand it. I don't
No,
understand aging. And we talk about this all the time. I feel like we're always talking about aging, but it doesn't make any sense. It's the same. Like I haven't been working out as much as I've wanted to. I haven't been eating. And the thing is, it's not even like I have been eating badly. I just haven't been eating well.
right.
And it's like, just kidding. Everything you've done for the last month doesn't matter.
It happens so fast, Boss. I
So
worked so
quickly.
hard in that 30 days before going to New Orleans. I'm talking about that's the that's the observation for me. It's like in order for us to stay in shape as we approach our 50s, it's like we have to do everything perfectly with our diet, with our water intake, with our workouts, with our sleep, with all it.
Mhm.
If we go back and take one of those things out of the equation, we gain 40 pounds in 3 days. Like, what the?
Do you know how many times I Google, "Can you gain 10 pounds in 2 days?" Like, there's gotta be something wrong. I've gotta have diabetes or something. I've gotta have liver failure. Something's going on. This is
I'm
not
just,
normal.
I'm just looking at my face on this camera, like, yo, I remember going to New Orleans. I was like, oh, snap, okay, I see a little slim down. Now I'm a fat man again. Yo, this is bullshit, yo.
We don't, we here at, the Idea Podcast do not condone fat phobia in any form, way, or shape, or ageism, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, and this is just me. This is the idea of vanity right now because I'm being vain because I don't spend too much time in the mirror, but the camera really, they say the camera adds 10 pounds. I don't know about that, but it does like highlight really easily when you watch yourself where like your weight sits on your face and like my weight sits like right here in my cheeks and that shit is it bothers me like I hate that about me. I hate that for myself.
I hate that for me.
I hate that for me. Oh my god. Anyway, what's been going on? You're under the weather. You're
Yeah, I'm
catching
not
up.
feeling well.
Yeah.
Don't know why, just am. Um, I've been I guess I've been not feeling well for, like, about a week, and it's just kinda hit even like, I couldn't ignore it
Hmm.
this morning. Um, but I have, thanks to you, no thanks to you, actually, been paying way more attention to the news than I have in a year,
Good. I
since
need you.
November of last year.
Yeah, I need you
No,
up
it's
there.
not good
I
because
need
I
you
I
up there.
I I skimmed through it. Like, I'm like, "Oh, I don't like this," moving on. So now I have little bits of information about everything that I hate.
Yeah. It's yeah, that is all my fault. I take
Yeah.
responsibility for that.
I'm giving you responsibility. I am absolutely blaming you. I'm absolutely blaming you.
Yeah, there's Bossy, there's so much it can't be as chaotic as it feels on by happenstance. Like this has to be by design, right? Like all of this, the upside down of everything, the way news stories kind of come and go. It's almost like they're, again, we've used this analogy on here before where it's like warfare, right? And we're at a war,
Psychological warfare.
right? And
Yeah.
our government seems to be at war with its own people. And in war, you send like test bullets out or like test missiles just to see, like, is it working? Like, are these missiles landing where we want them to? And I feel like that is what it is with these news stories. It's like, is this gonna work? Let me see. Let's see. Let's see if the Kirk wife will grab JD Vance's butt on stage. Let's see what like they're just like, let's throw anything out there. Leslie, let's have Listeria. Let's see if Listeria shakes him up. You know what I'm saying?
Let's invade Nigeria for absolutely
Yeah,
no reason whatsoever.
let's pick a country. Nigeria. Okay, I guess we're gonna bomb Nigeria. It's like what? It it's so chaotic, and in a way that, regardless of how you feel about the U.S. government, in the days of the old politics, at least on some level, even if it was crazy, it felt planned. It
Mhm,
felt like there was a plan, I should say.
mhm,
This chaotic situation just seems like no one knows what's happening, even the president,
mhm.
and the Republicans are just blindly following whatever he says, trying to justify it to the people. And then the Democrats are like reacting like it's still 1998.
Mhm,
You know what I'm saying? Like
mhm,
their
mhm.
reaction isn't to the level of the ridiculousness we're watching. And really the only one that I see really raising it to that level is Newsom a-
Yeah,
and and homegirl, the black woman. Oh wow. Why
Jasmine Crockett.
Crockett. They're the only one
Mhm.
that's like bringing that energy where, as crazy as it is, they're responding back at that same level. And everybody else is like, well, the president is telling some untruths, and we have to really wait and see. No, like, yeah, so
And I keep seeing on TikTok, like, leftists, who are like, Gavin Newsom is just as bad as Trump, and people don't want fascism unless it's on their side. I'm like, yes. I mean, I'm sorry. Like, at this point, fire with fire. Like, at this point, like, I can't be like, oh, Newsom is just as bad, when Newsom is just as bad in a way that at least works for people. He's
right.
not just as it's not like he's matching um Trump specifically fire for fire in the exact same way.
Hmm.
Then okay, we can have a conversation, but at the very least, you have to meet him where he is
Yeah.
and then escalate it from there. Like, I honestly, I don't care.
Hmm.
I don't care about anything that Governor Gavin Newsom has done,
Yeah.
because it's not the other guy. And it's gotten to the point now where I'm really sick and tired of people acting as though it makes sense for them to advocate the absolute horrific bullshit that we have now in order to maintain moral superiority. Like, moral superiority, all of that is out the window.
It's
Like, that
dead.
is
It's
done.
really
It's
dead. Yeah.
dead. It's dead. So at this point, what do you want to do? Because either you sit there, or either we, no, not even we, either we sit here like sitting ducks
Hmm.
and decide that it's just better to be morally superior than it is to like get shit done, or at least to prevent worse things from happening. Then
Right.
I don't know what to tell you at this point. To people who are still one issue when it comes to Palestine, meanwhile all of this other shit is happening that no one is talking about, or they're not as vocal about it.
Hmm.
All of these they're all agents of chaos. It's all COINTELPRO.
Yeah, it is. And I I am trying really hard not to be, hold the left, the Democrats or whatever to I'm trying not to like place this like, oh, the liberals are so soft, or they're not. I don't want to get into this like they're not doing enough, because I also feel like that's part of Trump's and MAGA's um part of their strategy is to do wild shit to almost bait the left to
Mhm,
respond and react. But then also, when they don't respond and react, we, the progressive liberal left or whatever, are like, you're not doing enough.
mhm,
So I understand the kind of catch 22 that the Dems are in. And it also doesn't feel like there's a unified narrative. And if
mhm,
anything that I think, I've learned from MAGA is that they are unified in their crazy,
mhm,
right? Like they're unified um in their message, and it's crystal clear what they're about. And the things that are crystal clear on the left side, on the Dem side, progressive side, or whatever, are not the things, in my opinion, that we should be, you know, that should be the at the forefront of our agenda. Does that make
mhm.
sense?
No, it makes perfect sense. It makes perfect there's a couple of things, and this has been said, like, time and time before. What the right does is they'll have a single issue. They
Mhm.
don't all believe all of the same things. They have the one thing, "I believe that abortion, I believe war, I believe this, I believe that, and
Mhm.
this part, I'll vote for them because they're gonna do at least one of the things," as opposed to the left, which is, "I believe this, I believe that, and I'm not gonna vote unless you include
All the things.
my thing
Yeah,
specifically,
yeah,
my
yeah.
thing specifically," and that is the difference. They are unified in that way, but I also I think I'm a pretty intelligent person. I think that
Mhm.
I'm pretty smart. And because of that, I know that there are things that I do not know as far as like the intricacies of the government, and
Mhm.
knowing that all of these are relationships. I think people see like, oh, they're actually really friends. It's like, well, you have to like get things done. I don't
Right.
think that they're like, you have to get things done, which means like you have to get some people on your side in order for things to go your way. So I'm not going to be like, oh, they're just all friends. They're all in cahoots. It's like, okay, but things need to get done after a certain point. And the fact that when Democrats are in office, the budget gets balanced, laws get passed, things are working. They may not work perfectly, but they're working towards something. And the reason why people are always saying that, oh, well, Democrats are um they're not progressive enough, or what have you, is because whenever they make progress, people like are like, all right, well, they didn't do everything, and then the Republicans come in and fuck everything up. And then when
Yeah,
the Democrats come in, they're only trying to rebuild shit that should not have been fucked up had you kept things consistent.
yeah.
So I just think it's a lot of hubris and a lot of arrogance to think that we know how everything works. This is what's his name? The mayoral race in New York is
Oh,
happening.
the Mandani and,
Exactly. Why do you
Cuomo.
fucking care how he
Yeah,
feels about Palestine? He's running for mayor of New York. Like,
the
why is
city,
this an
like
issue?
the
The
the little
city of
itty
New
bitty
York.
city. Right, right,
Right.
right.
Why is it an issue? Why is Israel an issue for the people who are Zionists? And why is Palestine an issue for the people who are pro-Palestine? It is the governor of New York. Like, you
Yeah,
care so much. It's such a purity litmus test that
yeah,
you're basing something that he has absolutely nothing to do with, nothing, he can't do anything about it except for
yeah,
symbolically make you feel better about it. And that's what you're judging on? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
yeah,
It makes no
yeah.
sense.
I I'm starting to. I've been keeping an eye on the mayoral race in the city. Not for nothing, like just because
It's
that's
New
kind of
York.
where. Yeah, it's New York, and the mayor has been important. Did I lose you, Bossy?
No, no, no. I had to grab
Okay.
something.
Yeah, the mayor has been important in New York City for so many reasons. But I don't know. I'm thinking that I think I have a controversial thought. And I don't know. I don't know. There's been a ton of conversation recently all over everywhere about like the clash of like intellectuals versus non-intellectuals. Have you seen that?
Mhm.
Your boy Mark and Queen's Flip
Flip.
had beef, and
Nice.
which
The
yeah. I can't even whatever. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, so the torch, the fundamental issue I think that MAGA is supporting and has supported, to me, is that the make America great again from the point of white people, from the perspective of white men, right? What is the what is the angle for the Democrats? Like what is the singular direction? Even if it's not an issue, what is the singular direction for the left side,
Mhm. Moral
right?
superiority. I don't know.
Right? So I don't know, Boxy. There's something's off, and I feel like
You want to get into conspiracy theory?
no. I don't even think it's a conspiracy theory. I just think it's misguided. I wonder if the issues that the Democrats place at the front of their platform is the issues that should be at the front of their platform.
This shouldn't be. No, but give me an example, because do you mean the Democrat leadership or Democratic or people who vote for the left or who proclaim to be on the left?
That's a good question. That's a really good question because I'm not sure. It's more just like a feel. It's like I feel,
Mhm.
and this, I told you I digest a lot of news. And I have like, like we've talked about before, like we have instincts and like usually our instincts are right? And we know what the right is doing. We know what MAGA is doing and where they're grounded. I don't know where the left, the side that I align with, is grounded. If I had to go with my instinct and with like the patterns that my body is telling me, it's not race.
Mhm.
And I think it should be, right? What I'm seeing is that it's LGBTQ, it's Palestine, and maybe class on some level, right? I think that's what Mandani V, I don't know, what Homeboy's platform has been.
Mhm.
But the more we really sit and the more, we've talked about this ad nauseum, is that if it's not race, if we're not thinking and talking about how we can center, if how we can focus, how we can help, how we can uplift like black and
You want the Democrats to do
brown.
that?
Yes.
That's not
I
going to
want that to
happen.
be the platform. I
It
want that
won't
to be
be.
the only platform.
It
And
won't
then
be
everybody else
ever.
can fold. Everybody's everything else can fold into the fact that if we don't focus on bridging this gap between all of the races, between all of the blacks, the browns, all the people that conveniently lean white when it's time to vote, then we are we're aligning on topics that are just too un, what's the word? Too fringe. I don't know. Too there's too many layers to understanding as a political platform
Mhm.
why LGBTQ is what turns MAGA and what brings people out of the left to the right. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm watching a documentary. I can't remember what it was. Something about you. You remember that ad? Oh, reading reading Kamala's book,
Mhm.
and she talked about in the weeks prior to the election, um, she was on the Breakfast Club, and Trump's campaign took that soundbite of the LGBTQ in the military or whatever,
Mhm.
and that was a pivotal moment that, helped to swing some of those undecided voters. And I'm just like, that the reason why that was such a pivotal point is because the Dems haven't identified a singular issue to build the left movement. And I don't think
Well,
it should be anything than race. That's my
but
like that's my gut
it's not gonna happen. Let me just say that flat out. It's not gonna happen. Because there no one people are not gonna unify under Black issues, especially because when you think about it, and I've said this countless times, whenever someone says it's Black people who do this, but it is mainly white progressive leftists who do this. Whenever it's time to talk about Black issues, they talk about prison reform. That's what they talk about because that's what they
Mhm.
think when they think of
Crime, yeah.
they think of the crime bill. That's the main thing. And it's like that is not those aren't it overwhelmingly affects Black and brown people, but it is not the bulk of what it is that's important when it comes to Black issues.
Mhm.
There's that. But if you remember when Obama was running um for the first time, his first term, and gay marriage was the big thing, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
I
Yes.
remember I remember him being asked, like in one of the early things, and they asked him, he's like, I don't believe in it. And he just kind of moved on. And it took the wind out of their sails. Like they couldn't press him on that because he was like, I don't believe in it, moving on. Knowing fully well that he did, knowing fully well that he was going to do something, but he knew he had to get into office before a lot of these other things would be able to do. But so many people to this day still hold that against him without
Yeah.
considering that not that he had to say it. And I know that people, Black people, like just marginalized people, they believe that or we believe that we get thrown under the bus. But I feel like sometimes it's not being thrown under the bus, it's letting the bus pass so they don't have
Mhm.
anything to say. And then once you're in office, you do all of these other things. And I think that that's happened more times than not. But people, I think, get stuck on. Okay, let me back up because now it sounds like I'm advocating for. I'm thinking what I'm saying is what I've been saying from the beginning is that there is a strategy that
Mhm.
has to be deployed that I don't know anything about. I don't know what the inner workings of that is. I remember seeing Obama say that and being like, "Ooh, really? I thought da 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 da." But then I was like, he's a Black man who's trying to take the. He said, what did he say before he was elected? He did that speech about race, right?
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
And
Or
people
yeah,
took
right
that
before it. Right, yeah.
right before, and then when Henry Louis Gates was like confronted in his own house when he said that Ta uh, Tavon Martin could be his son. Like all of those things blew up to ways that just made white people feral. So that I start to understand why
Mhm.
he started to table the conversation. People said that he tabled it because he didn't care anymore. He was like, fuck Black people. I don't care anymore. My daddy's Kenyan and my mom was white. Like that's the way they were taking us.
Yeah.
Like he's doing things out of like the conversation so that it doesn't become the conversation. That was clear to me. But to this day, people who were six when he was in office use those sound bites as though those were all that he was about, as opposed to you weren't alive or around or conscious to see the effects that happened as opposed to what it is that you can read about. Do you
Right,
know what I
right,
mean?
right, right, and
Like there was
no, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I actually got into, Instagram, well, I wouldn't say beef, but like one of my comments to a post went viral-ish, and it was a two of them actually did, but one, and we should talk about both of them, but one of them was it was a woman. I assumed her to be in her 20s just based on, she looked young, her clothes, the way she was talking. I was like, oh, this is a young woman, okay. And she was bad mouthing Kamala Harris and identifying her as like an established, based like, this is the reason why the establishment on the left will never be successful. We're still supporting a politician. And so in
A
the
cop.
comment, yeah, in the comment, I was like, is she a politician right now? Like, she's an author. Like, what are you talking about? And so she blasted back, "This things like this that we can't get out of our own way." And I was like,
You can't get out of your own way. What are you talking about?
yo, it was just surreal. And then I was thinking again, I'm always like super, super kind on my comments on social media. Like, I don't want it to be ever construed that, as a man, that I'm talking down to a little, younger person or whatever. And so I'm always like, I hear you. Like, I'm always like, I hear you. And, you know, she's currently a citizen. Like, she's a politician. She hasn't even said she's running. She's just
She's a
talking
private
about her
citizen.
experience. And why is this the focus? It's like, I genuinely feel like us on the left should be focusing all of this energy that you're having towards Kamala, all of it should be directed towards the administration, this current
Mhm,
administration. That's it. Like,
mhm.
there's nothing else we should be focused on. It's things like this that why we can never get ahead. And I'm like, oh my God, you were, could you even vote when she ran? I don't know. I'm
Mhm.
not making any assumptions, but like,
It's true
it,
though.
it's just, yeah, it, it,
It's
it,
these
it
it's
was just
these people.
disappointing. Yeah. It was just,
It is people who were not around, who did not know what it was like before, who did not know how difficult it was for these things to get to the point that they are now, who did not know how much resistance there was to incremental changes, which is why they were incremental. They want somebody who just shows up and like as they say in Nigeria,
right.
scatters everything. That's not
Mm-hmm.
how it works. It's never going to work like
Yeah.
that. It's never going to work like
Right.
that. Not only because it people won't support it, but because there's no everything has to have like a basis or like a base, a foundation. And people want
Mm-hmm.
the foundation to be destroyed and then immediately rebuilt, but like done so in a way where everybody gets to determine what that looks like when nobody has the same vision for what that looks like. And rather than thinking
Right.
about what it means holistically, just for people to be in a better place, it's all individualistic. It's this is the thing that I want. This is the thing that I think is important. This is the way I want it to look like. And
Yeah.
the only thing that Republicans agree on is like we want shit worse for black people.
What? That's what
That's
I'm
it.
saying.
That's
That's
it.
what I'm
We want it
saying.
worse.
That's what this was the revelation where I was like, I feel like the Dems are just scattered when it comes to our issues, is because at every point in this, since Trump has been president the second time, anytime anything happens, they're like, black people did it. Right? Like, black people did something wrong, right?
Charlie Kirk
And they
did when
also,
Charlie Kirk died. It was black people who did it. No,
it
it
was
was
black
black
people.
trans people who did it. Like,
Right, right. So on some level, right, and I'm not walking this back, but I am acknowledging that like LGBTQ folks are also scapegoated a
every
lot
day.
from MAGA, right? And so, with Charlie Kirk, it was black people, it was trans people. And somehow it's the trans group. Like, the trans population is like -3%. Like, it's like three people. And there's so
It's
much
three
energy
people.
placed on three people in the world are trans. And like, there's so, but like, you know, um, with Kirk, of course, with Trump's assassination attempt, it was black people. With the food stamps is black
It's
people. With
black
the
people.
farm issue is black. So And so it's like when I saw this, when I had this interaction online, I'm just like, this is a young Black woman. She's clearly educated. She's clearly like hip to what's going on. Who got to her
White people.
to for for her? That's what I'm
It's white
talking
people.
about.
This is
That's
what
what.
I've been saying this. I remember, I think it was last year. I actually did a like a TikTok. I think I privated it, but the conversation, whenever they talk about like biracial people and like white mothers, and they're like, oh, the white ones the white moms are like different than the ones of black moms. And people have like this thing where it's just like very general, but it's like it's not just that. It is the people who become quote unquote radicalized in college, because 9 times out of 10, it is a white professor, it is a white organization, it is people who
Mhm,
view politics through the lens of anything other than pro-blackness.
mhm,
If you learn resistance, and if you learn your politics and you learn how to execute your politics through the lens of white people, it is never going to serve black people, because
right,
the ways in which that black people historically globally have learned to resist, advocate, and protest on behalf of ourselves have been done in ways that are now being vilified by young black people because they don't understand.
right,
All the organizing was done in church, because those were the places that black people could exist amongst each other and have conversations amongst each
safely,
other
yeah,
outside of the white gaze. That's where they were doing it. So when you vilify church, you're doing so in a way that undermines the ways in which black people have learned to dismantle things. You can't we can't afford to stand on the outside and like scatter things the way that white people do, because they're always going to be
so
okay. They're always going
that's
to be fine.
so
When I
true.
think about this conversation too, when they talk about there are no ethical billionaires, that's a white method of thinking. I'm sorry, because 9 times out of 10, black billionaires,
Mhm,
you can pinpoint how they got there. You sold
yeah,
a trillion records. You, created the Super Soaker. I mean, like stuff
a
like
media
that.
company.
Exactly.
Right, right,
You're not employing people and paying them 2 cents and making them, pee in buckets. I can look at Jeff Bezos and say, like, you did not get there the right way. I can look at Elon Musk and be like,
mhm,
your people owned diamond mines uh um what's that word? Disenfranchised millions of Black South Africans, and used
mhm,
apartheid as a method of gaining your wealth. I can look at you and see that. I cannot say the same thing for Beyonce. Jay-Z didn't do that. So when
mhm,
Black people focus on Jay-Z and say that Jay-Z is the reason for the downfall of Black people, and like you're looking at it from white people's aspects. We don't look at
yeah,
things that way. I never, sorry, I'm out on a tangent,
yeah,
but I remember I was, I want to say 14 or 15 years old. I don't know what the context
mhm,
was, but in front of my father, I said something disparaging about Jesse Jackson. My father
mm,
never yelled. He's never hit me. I mean, he didn't hit me that one time, but my dad is the calmest dude. He went off on me because you don't fucking
mm,
do that. Imagine if I got online
yeah,
and said some crazy shit about Barack Obama. My father, that's not the way we were raised.
mm,
We don't do that. Not because
right,
they're infallible, not because um they don't deserve critique, but because we know what it takes for Black people to get certain places. We have a conversation from a different lens. We are now having conversations about Black people the way that white people have conversations about Black people, especially online. Whenever I see a young Black person online talking crazy about other Black people in a way that if I close my eyes, I know you got that from white people. I know that your politics were created and formed from a white space and not from a Black one, because we do resistance different. We do
yeah,
protesting different. We do advocating for
Yep.
ourselves different. You're doing it like white
Mm,
people, and that's the issue. I went on like
yep.
7 tangents, but
No,
that's the way I feel.
it's so right on point. It made me think of, when I worked in DC, there was a woman, a white woman, a white gay woman. See, that's okay,
Okay,
I'm
we
not
have
gonna
to edit
go
all this out.
on
We have
my
to edit all
soapbox.
this out. It's white people though.
No,
That's
no,
what I'm
we
saying.
don't.
Like I want to tell you that it is white
Yeah,
people because that's what I was going to get at. When we talk about all these issues, it is the white
yeah,
people that are shaping it. I care about black people, black men, black women, black
yeah,
children, black trans people, black gay people, black non-vi. I care about black people. If you are black, I am
period.
advocating for you. I don't care about white.
Mhm.
No, let me back up. Not that I don't care about white people.
See?
I can't care about
That's
white
what we gotta
people.
cover up.
I can't care about white people the same way that I care about black people. I will always and only advocate for black people, whatever that
Mhm.
means.
Yeah,
But I'm not going to let white people
yeah,
tell me how to care about. That's it. I'm not going to let white people tell me how to care about black people. I'm not doing it. And that's what a lot of these people are
yeah.
doing. Oh,
And
sorry.
what
Last thing.
issues black people yeah,
Quickly, the whenever you hear a black person talking crazy like that, in my opinion, I bet you they are recently black. We've had this conversation before. These are recent blacks who did not have any black friends growing up, who grew up in all white establishments. They all have white partners because they're new to all of this black shit. They didn't grow up
mhm, mhm. Yeah,
around black people in a way
yeah,
that makes sense. They're now adopting blackness and using white tactics. So good.
yeah, yeah. And I'm in full agreement that, like, there is a Ye and this is from my class with Dr. Amani and at James Madison University. There's picture this, and there's always, 1 or 2 professors like this on every campus. White campus, the one, like, African studies professor that, of course, the full dashikis, has a Eye of
Dr.
Ra
Ackland
on his
Lynch.
chain, like,
Dr. Ackland Lynch at University of
Yeah, yeah,
Maryland,
you know
Baltimore
him.
County. Yes.
And so Dr. Amani, probably one of the greatest classes I've ever taken that, like, stuck with me was The Rise of Eurocentrism. And we read, I can't I could see the book. It was pink, it had a half pink cover, and it was like a Yoruba, deity on the cover, and the whole thing was like, talking about, like, what we in the United States think of as white, like the things we put the white label on, it's really a Western Eurocentric, Eurocentrism focus, right? And how so much of how we operate is based in the way that Europeans have operated for
Mhm.
years and years, for centuries. And so in that class, and where I built my, like, my activism brain, we had to learn how to be, like, what it meant to be Afrocentric, right? Like, it and so much of what we learned in that class, I think I took the series of classes after that, was like, it almost has to go beyond convention, beyond the things that are, like, natural and normal for us, being that we grew up in the United States, even if we had parents that were immigrants, even if we had, parents that are Black Southerners or whatever. Growing up in the United States, we are indoctrinated into a Eurocentric way of the world.
Mhm.
So when things don't work, we look at what's wrong. When things, there's, if there's just a mindset of how to even fix problems that in an Afrocentric way, you look at what's working. You look at towards your elders for a certain perspective. You look to the earth, you look to nature. There's so many different things, right? And so much of what many of these, the younger people that are becoming the voice of the left, they are doing so from a Eurocentric lens
Yes.
and don't even
Yes.
realize how damaging it is and how like narrow-minded it is. And the histories that we're trying to run from and escape from, we're only going to duplicate them if we are trying to fix these problems the way white people fix their problems. And the
Yes.
example that I was gonna give was like a friend of mine, a old colleague I used to work with, dope woman, like super dope, white lady. Um we were always talking about, taking down the system, and like that was our thing. Fight the power, and she was with it, right? And she one time she said, you know, with the school system, we were working in education. It's like we just gotta, we gotta burn down the school system. Like not literally, but like figuratively, like we gotta burn it down. And I was like, we can't burn it down because my kids are in that system. So like we need to figure out another analogy for fixing, for adjusting these institutions. And like that is the mindset that I keep on hearing from so many young people. We gotta burn it down. But we live here. Like
Yeah.
we can't burn it down. There has to be a different analogy and a different perspective to, to bringing things together. I don't know if even that is the right
Here's the
language
thing.
to see more of what we want to see.
Destruction is anti-black. Retribution is anti-black.
Absolutely.
Um,
Yeah.
what this
Revenge. One of the
revenge is anti-black. The lack of I'm trying to look at like words, like single words, but the lack of forgiveness is anti, like there's ostracization is anti-black. There are all these
Yes.
things that we have learned to 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 communicate in and traffic in that are so anti us that this is not the way that we do things. And this is what I keep going back to. The ways that we are now speaking are anti our natural, um ancestral, instinctive methods. They're all anti that in order to sound like white people. I keep going back to that. This is not how we sound. This is not what we do. We don't denigrate our elders. We don't even, this is gonna sound crazy, but walk with me. Even the whole thing with hip hop and like being upset that it's not in the top 40 anymore. We don't do numbers like that in general. Like those are the things that are
Mm,
important to us. And we've made these things important to us. And that is the reason why why things aren't getting fixed, in my opinion. Because we don't
mhm.
think about fixing, we think about
Yeah,
breaking.
yeah.
In Nigeria,
Kanye had the song on 808s and what? Go
okay.
ahead. Oh, yeah. So he had the song on 808s and Heartbreak. He is a part of the song's like, "You're focused on the wrong thing. You focus," and like that's I feel like I don't know. I don't know if this is black folks, if it's because we're in political season, if it's liberals, Democrats, the left, progressive, I don't know. But I just feel like we are focused on the wrong thing and we're trying to do it how they do it.
Hmm.
And I honestly think the MAGA, the right, whatever, they're better at it because all of the things that they are supporting and promoting are whiteness. And so
Hmm.
white people are just better at doing white shit than we are.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And so like
Hmm.
that's why their messages are landing. That's why their everything is so super planned for 30, 40 years. And black people, not even black people, the other political party on the left, we are so disaggregated and disoriented because we don't have a a strategy. And I think our strategy, and I'm going back to what you just said at the beginning. Like it can't be black people, right? We can't like have a entire democratic foundation or progressive foundation based on black people, but we can have a strategy based on on I don't know on blackness. on um on Afrocentrism, right? But I don't know, some of it is socialism, like right? Like some of it
Yeah,
is like socialism, like betterment for everybody, you know. I
but
don't know.
not the
I
way
just
that
think we're
white
really
people
focused
view
on the wrong.
socialism. Not the same way. It's different.
Right,
And the fact that we keep,
exactly.
yeah,
Not the
and
textbook definition. Yeah,
it's not
yeah.
the tech. It is a way that is organic and the way that's been done for literal centuries. Like I was thinking about, and Deontay Kyle talks about this a lot, but I was thinking about it in terms of how we fix things. And whenever something breaks, there was a time when Black people would call somebody and they would come and fix it. Would not get a new one, not throw it away and get
Mhm,
something else. Fix it. We don't fix it anymore. We throw it away and try to get new things or try to figure
mhm,
out like how to make things new as opposed to fixing the shit. And I think that fixing, not destroying, not throwing away, not getting new shit, fixing. So I think in that
mhm.
regards, so okay, hold on. Let me are I feel like what you're saying is not centering around Black people, but learning how to do things like Black people as far as the approach. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
what I'm
That
saying.
I
That's what I'm
100%
saying.
agree with.
Yeah, that's
But
what I'm
that's not going to happen ever. It's
that's what I'm saying.
not going to happen.
Yeah, and I think it came out originally as like because I think when I started, it was Black people, but I think through our conversation, it's not the people individually. It's like a Black way of thought, like
The
a
methodology.
African, yeah, the
Yeah.
methodology, the approach, the tenor of the conversations,
Yeah. The
right? The
tenets of the
um
of the conversation.
Yes, and I was just thinking about like I was literally thinking about this. I have a lot of African and Caribbean content on my feed, just, you know, cuz and, you know, African parenting, Caribbean-based parenting, all that stuff. And it's, you know, the most hilarious. It just feels so normal to me, right? But the I was thinking of like the way that we all know, like the stereotypical like Nigerian parent, the stereotypical like Trinidadian parent, like that voice, that Caribbean style, African style parenting, and the way that our people, I'm just saying our people talk to each other is so matter of fact, right? That to the outside, it sounds rude, right? Like, you know, um I think is one skit and it's this it's hilarious like it's this Nigerian kid, he's playing himself and his dad, and it's like a Nigerian kid, you know, trying to work from home,
I've
and
seen that.
his dad
I've
is
seen
like
that.
making noise in the background. It's hilarious. And the dad is like, "What are you, stupid? Like, what are you stupid?" But it's like on the outside looking in, it's like, "Oh, why are you calling your kid stupid?" But within, we know like that's love. That is like it's also a very obvious, um, you know, it's just it's just an accepted way of communicating. But it's so honest, right?
Mhm.
And it's so real that if people are fake, they think like, "Oh, that's rude," right? And that is what I mean by an Afrocentric way of engaging. I feel like if we had a political party or if we had a movement where people just like said shit the way our parents say shit. Like what are you are you stupid? Like are you like talking to the other side, like talking to, you know, just about issues in such a non-political way that could resonate with people directly. So it's like even the minute ways of engagement, I think on the left side, Democrat side, could be improved and more direct and stronger and as like grounded in something real if we stop trying to talk like white people, if we stop trying to be and engage and think like white people, instead of saying, oh, well, he told some untruths, like, no, that nigga is a liar, sir. Say, doing, like, just stop talking around issues and just be like, no, Trump is lying. He is a
But
liar,
look what
you know,
happens when people do
and
that.
moving from there.
Jasmine Crockett is catching hell because she's doing that. From Black people. Stephen A.
Yeah.
Smith, she's catching hell from Black
Yeah.
people for being rude, for being ghetto, for being this, for being that. I'm not a big fan of performance, me personally. I can see through it. I don't like
Hmm.
it, but I understand where it fits in certain places. I understand where it fits politically. It's theater. It's theater.
Hmm.
But
Hmm. Yeah.
again, on to your point, how many times to the same, like Black people speak to people and speak to each other a different way. I think it's so fun. Whenever we get into like these diaspora wars, I always think about why is it that we have so many different, or how we have such different experiences but similar experiences at the same time. Why can I see something coming from like a Caribbean
Right.
sketch or a Black American sketch or a Nigerian sketch or Black London sketch? And we all identify. We all have versions of the same kind of
All the
way of
same
speaking to
shit.
each other.
Yeah.
It's a connection. But then we have
It's
people
all the same.
again who are Black but outside of it by choice or by happenstance, who think that whenever I hear a Black person call something toxic, I have to like stop myself for being like, what are you talking about? Like this is how we are. But it's not
Right.
toxic if you're not if you're out it's not toxic if you're inside of the culture. It's not. It's
Right.
this is
Yeah.
all over the place, but it's coming back to I remember I was watching a YouTube video and I think it was Torre who was a guest on something, and he was talking about how the clips he said he was playing devil's advocate, but he was the devil's best friend. He was not the devil's advocate. He was like but they're poisoning the what is it? The community. All this drug talk. Like drug dealers are poisoning the community. I was like, who says that?
Oh,
What are
man.
you talking about? Like, I mean, yes. Like yes, on like a fine, okay? But you're
Yeah.
talking about it like white people talk about it. You're not talking about the CIA. You're not talking about the
Yes.
influx of like, you're not talking about that. You're not talking about it's such Black people view things holistically, and we're able
Yeah.
to see all different sides of
Yeah.
things and understand how things show up the way that they do. And whenever I see a Black person who talks about something from like the base level and that's it, that's how I know that they weren't part of the culture.
Yeah. Yeah. It's super clear with Torre is one of those guys
Oh, he's
that
absolutely one of those guys.
you know, I think he went to an HBCU. I think
No,
I remember him talking
no,
about going to. He didn't go to HBCU.
he went to Emory.
Emory. I was like, I know he
Went
went
to
down
Emory.
south, but yeah. So yeah, he definitely like places a Eurocentric way of engaging as the center of his platform.
Hmm.
But yeah, I don't know, man, and I feel like I'm grasping at straws. I feel like I want the Democratic Party, and I actually got this from. Oh, am I frozen? We're not using
Yeah,
video anyway. I actually learned this from Rod from from the Black Guy Who Tips podcast, and he talked about a few months ago. This might have been around election time that you know he is like a staunch Democrat, and he's talked about like, hey, if we're gonna try to win this thing, like we need to align behind the opposition to the Republicans. And if
hmm
that right now is the Democrats, then I'm a fucking Democrat. Like
hmm
that's it. And that's where we're
hmm
gonna and so I started thinking like, you know what? It really is that simple. Like right
hmm
now, like what are we talking about? A green party and all these, both are, two wings of the same plane, whatever. No, no, no. It's clearly not, right? It's
yeah,
clearly not two wings of the same plane. It's clearly not the lesser of two evils. And that is since hearing that was like a validation from Rod, I'm like, okay, if that is the mindset that I want to adopt, which I think it is, what how do I do that where I'm still able to acknowledge that, yeah, there's some challenges with the Democratic side. That doesn't mean I'm not going to vote Democrat. It doesn't mean that that I'm going to consider an independent, or I'm going to not vote, or I'm going to vote Republican. Like, that's not even an option. So how do we have these kinds of conversations and still hold the Democratic Party responsible while engaging in it the way that we want? And that is what it's not even a fight, it's just what I'm thinking about, as you know, I just voted today. Like, I have my little voted sticker on. It was just for city council, but I don't know if this is I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I just know that what I
Oh
do
my God,
know
hold on.
is
It's
that
November 4th. Has it been a year since the election?
today's Yeah. Yep.
What?
It's been a year. Yeah. It has been a
What?
year voting. We don't have much to vote for in Carolina, but
Hold on. Am I supposed to be voting today?
hmm
I don't know. I haven't been paying attention.
I haven't heard of there being a big thing in Maryland this year. I can't remember. But Virginia has that crazy governor's race.
Oh my God, I am supposed to be voting.
Um,
I'm supposed to be voting today for what? I'm so out of it. Jesus.
yeah.
Okay.
See,
I'm the
this is
problem.
where
I'm
no,
part of the problem.
we're learning. we're we're learning in real time.
I'm gonna.
Oh
Bunch
man,
of
but
there's
yeah,
a
that's
voting
I
place
don't know,
around the
man.
corner. I'll go vote before I go to the gym.
Yeah. Um, but I sent you the text message earlier this week about all of the corruption in the White House that I don't see anybody talking about. This is another part of my reflection, is that what are we supposed to do with this information, Bossy? Like, for real. Like,
This is what I'm
we
saying.
see what they're doing. Is it just people talk about it being everything's a distraction, right? I I I just they are actively stealing taxpayers' money. This government, they are actively making plans to not have any more elections. They are
Mhm,
actively making the White House his permanent residence.
mhm,
And if not him, because he's gonna die soon, right?
mhm.
His
God willing,
kids, his
inshallah.
his future. Um, they are actively the vice president is actively saying that he hopes his wife converts to Christianity, only to then get the sexiest hug from Charlie Kirk's ex-wife,
In
who
leather
is
pants.
newly widowed. Like, what? Yo, Bossy, what?
Has it
In
even been a month?
leather, in the most ill-fitted leather. Yo, it's almost been 2 months because it was September 10th. It was it was the most
That's
quiet September 11th,
crazy. Hold on, there's a delay.
right?
There's a delay. Do you hear me?
I can still, yeah, it is a little bit delay. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I
Can
can
we
hear you.
fix that or
It's been happening for a while. I think it's fine. I think our pacing is
okay.
good. We're not talking over each other too much.
So I don't know if I told you, but a couple of years, it was during COVID, I think, because we weren't going anywhere. I lost my mind and I did the whole
Oh, wait.
Marie Kondo, does it spark joy thing with my closet? And I got rid of so many clothes, like vintage stuff that in my mind I didn't realize were vintage because I'm not old, but now that I think about it, I've had this coat, this Kenneth Cole coat for since 2001. Donated all this shit. This is in 2001, I think, that I no 2021, just a couple of years ago. I have thought about those items of clothing and shoes every day for 3 years. I have mourned vintage clothing longer than Erica Kirk has mourned her dead husband. That is incredible. That is crazy. Every time I see her talk or be or wear, I'm like, I have a coat that I still think about and nearly go to tears thinking about the fact that I don't have this coat in my closet anymore. And you're in leather pants hugging JD Vance, talking about nobody can replace my husband. But what?
Yo, Bossy. She said, I see a lot of Charlie in him. Like what? Like
What?
who says that about their freshly dead husband? Like
Ashley,
who
you
says
can't.
that?
Nope. Nothing can replace my
Unbelievable.
husband. Nobody can replace my husband. But did you see the way she looked when
Yeah.
she said JD Vance and JD and his wife, and the way her face fell when she said and his wife. Did you see that clip?
Yeah. And I did see it. The whole thing is so again, with the insidious nature of the right MAGA folks, like I think it's clear to anybody that has sense that Charlie Kirk was assassinated by them. Like they did that, right? Like
Mhm.
that's I feel like when it first happened, like those of us that are paying attention, like we knew, but we are like, okay, we're gonna be respectful. Like he was killed, like it was a murder, on some level. But now it it's clear we don't even have to be disrespectful in saying like, yeah, he was killed by the Republic, like he was killed by them, like whoever they
Somebody
have in jail or in custody.
didn't do it.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
the fact that we haven't heard
yeah,
anything
whoever they
from
have in
him,
custody didn't do it.
and the fact that we haven't heard from him, it's not like a 24-hour update on this particular guy. Everybody knows. Everybody knows.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
It's not controversial.
the fact that they are based, yeah, it's not controversial. It's not controversial. They killed him, and they killed him on live TV, and they killed him on TV, and then blame black trans people for doing it. Okay, there's a level of sinister in that whole thing. Like that is when I need uh, why are we saying this? Like we're just two little podcasters. There's, I see people on a certain level saying it, but why isn't it being broadcast or at least shared in a real way, in a real format, whether it's the news, whether it's a special, whether it's like, where's the Charlie Kirk assassination special on 2020? Like, and I know because, Trump has his hands in all media and everybody's scared, but like, that's the stuff I'm talking about. It is so plain and clear to see that they did this and are using it to incite some sort of political agenda. And everybody's cool with that. Like we're just talking about the Dallas Cowboys. Like what are we? What
But again,
that's the
what is
part that's really
supposed to
frustrating.
happen?
Like
What are we
among
supposed to
many.
do? There's literally nothing that can be done. All the people who talk about revolution and overthrowing things will not. Like, what are we supposed to actually do? Nothing. There's nothing we can do. And it's such an onslaught of things that we can't even focus on anything. Like I don't know what's supposed to be done besides making TikToks. And what's that supposed to do? I'm heartened by the fact that a lot of MAGA is starting to be like, wait a second, like what's happening here? The JD Vance Erica thing has got people like, wait, what? Like people who just yesterday were pro whatever, like looking at it differently. The Epstein files has people looking at things differently. I I don't know what we're supposed to do at this point. All I know is that people are starting to wake up in like a in some way, shape, or fashion. I I I don't even know. I don't know. Oh, it's disconnected.
You know what, Bossy? Here's an observation. Oh, it's just yeah. I think here's an observation. I'm observe something I'm observing with your sound and audio. I wonder if your Wi-Fi in your community, it always happens between like 10:45 and 11:15. I bet you that if you were to do a poll, that is when like the people in your neighborhood are working the most, where your Wi-Fi is most like being used in your tower. Because it's the
Oh,
same time, and it happens in the exact same way every week. It
do you remember
happens where it starts off super crystal clear, which it starts off crystal clear, everything's working, and then as we approach 11 o'clock, it starts to glitch a little bit. And then right now, it's like I'm hearing every third word that you're saying. And I
Do,
bet
do,
you
do you remember
it's
last
the
last week when they were working on the Wi-Fi and they were working at it at 10 a.m.? I feel like you're right because I feel like people were complaining and they were trying to do something before. Oh gosh, yeah,
everything you
you're
just
right.
said I didn't hear.
Yeah, I feel you. Can you hear me now?
Can, can you hear? I can't hear
I
you
can
at
hear
all
you
now.
crystal clear. I can hear you crystal clear. It's
No, I can hear you. Yeah,
reconnecting.
see, it's waves. Like you can feel, you could almost like see the waves when your picture is clear and your sound is perfect, and then where you start to go where you start to glitch, and now you're completely frozen. And this is what happens every time. It's completely frozen, and then you're gonna leave the screen. I can almost count it down in like 5, 4, 3, 2, and then Bossy's gonna disappear. Watch. Here it comes. Bossy, you there? Oh, she said she just texted me, y'all. Anyway, y'all, but yeah, so we're talking through it. We are, Bossy and I as trying to be well-adjusted, middle-age black folks are trying to yep, and she's gone, and we're trying to just make sense of it all. um and we don't want to go into the motion of just being in critique the whole time, like this isn't working, acknowledging though that something is not working, and then trying to figure out what is our role here as you know, as citizens, as folks that have a small platform, as folks who are raising young children or raising, young adults in the society, we just, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I'm going to stop. And then if Bossy isn't able to come back in, we can go ahead and end this week's episode due to technical difficulties, as tends to happen, but hold tight. All right, folks, we are going to end this here episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, we appreciate you listening. Make sure you follow us on all socials. We are the Idea Pod, and we will holler at you next time. All right, peace.